This is the Ryder and Lisa podcast.
A lot of artists have announced that they got music coming out in 2025, and some of those are a pretty big surprise.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought that Elton John would have a new album coming out in 2025? Blondie's back in the studio. The Doobie Brothers.
Justin Bieber.
No, seriously, though, he is reinventing himself, and I'm convinced it's because he realized that diapers are so expensive.
That's true. He pays for one car seat, and he's like, oh, man, think how many cars he has.
Ooh, that's a lot of car seats.
That is. I wonder if that's why guys like Robert De Niro and Al Pacino also keep taking acting gigs.
Yeah, they're never going to retire because they keep getting women pregnant.
Yeah. They're paid for a lot of car seats, man. Trump doing Trump things, saying outlandish stuff, and having people go like, oh, dang, for real? But then the fact checkers come in and it's not for real. I do appreciate that over the years, Trump has done politics and not acted like a politician through it. So there's times where he is open about things that most politicians would keep like really close to their chest. And I feel like the public, because of that, a lot of people appreciate that he's willing to say anything.
Or they trust him more.
Yeah.
Even when what he's saying, every once in a while, a fact checker has to come in and be like, no.
Well, you can see when he gets going sometimes, and you're like, I'm like, is he making this up right now? Because he talks as if things are such facts. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this one, he said that they really should have accepted Canadian water for the fires in California now. That California had a really good opportunity to get Canadian water, and there would have been so much flowing through Los Angeles, they wouldn't have known what to do with all the water. That was what he had said. It flows right down through LA, massive amounts coming from the mountains, from the melts. And even without it, even during the summer, it's a natural flow of water. They would have so much water, they wouldn't know what to do with it. You would never have had the fires. So I had never heard that before. And he was so
matter of fact about it.
That I was like, oh man, that's super interesting. Why don't they accept all of this water? Or like, where does it go? So environmental experts have stepped in and said he's probably talking about the Columbia River that flows from the Rocky Mountains in BC into the U.S. Pacific Northwest. So that's like your Seattle, your Washington state. And that river ends up flowing out into the Pacific Ocean between Washington State and Oregon. There's no infrastructure that would send the water further south.
Okay.
So they're saying, like, this is asinine. It's preposterous, is what the excerpt said about it. This is not a thing. But now all these people are all twisted up because the Canadian water's not getting to LA, but it never has.
I'm just trying to visualize him, like you said, when he starts just going for it.
Mm-hmm.
So much water. There's so much water that could get there. I'm trying to visualize it. I'm like, I can't even picture what he's even going on about.
Yeah. It feels a little bit like when my mom tells stories now sometimes and I know the story. Like, I feel like fact-checking because
you're like, actually, last time you told me this story, that this is who said that.
Well, like, I'm in the story and she's just making things up about the story. I'm like, that's not true. Apparently, retail theft is on the rise.
I mean, I've seen Mall Cop 1 and 2.
Right.
I wouldn't mess around.
We need a few more Paul Blarts out there for sure. But it says that some stores are now locking up more merchandise. So originally it was just kind of the razors that I remember.
Razors and perfume or cologne that was over $80.
Yeah. Now it's starting to be just other expensive things. Like, I wonder if eventually the meat department, the way that price is going, is going to be locked up. You're going to have to go and get the guy to unlock it if you want ribeyes.
I felt like I was stealing the other day because I didn't have a reusable grocery bag, but I did have a backpack. Is my gym backpack, so it's kind of stinky. So apologies if like the Greek yogurt you're having today, it tastes a little funky. I don't think it's expired. It was just near my sneakers. Anyway.
It's disturbing.
So I was like, oh, I'll just use my backpack. This is fine. But I felt criminal putting things in my backpack when I was walking out, like after using the self-checkout, putting everything in, and then zipping it up. I'm looking around. I'm like, does anyone think that I look suspicious right now?
You were saying that when you use self-checkout, like you usually steal about every second item, right? You pretend to scan it. You were telling me that?
I've literally never said that. Wasn't there a time that I went back? Yes. I was at Home Depot. They counted wrong with the pots that I bought. I felt so guilty that I went back and I was like, you forgot to scan one of my pots.
Yeah, that's stupid. You've now gone like past ethical and into stupid zone. If it's their screw up, take that pot and run, girl. Big weekend if you're a sports fan, especially Saturday, which could be a marathon of a day for your couch cushion.
When does it start?
Well, NFL playoffs start at 2:30.
Okay.
And then 6 o'clock is the second NFL game. There's Hockey Night in Canada splattered throughout the day. Might even be Hockey Day in Canada because games start pretty early, I'm sure.
This makes me so excited because it's a free-for-all when it comes to snacks.
That's true.
Like, I'm already drooling thinking of the boneless hot wings I'm going to eat. But when am I going to eat them? During the 2:30 game? During the evening hockey game?
Are you grabbing them from the freezer or are you going out for them? Is the question.
Ooh, I don't know. I guess it depends.
That feels to me like couch day.
Yeah, air fryer.
Yeah, air fryer. That has really amped up the sports appetizers, hey?
It really has.
I could sit on my couch when NFL football and hockey is on at the same time. I mean,
you become one with the couch.
I don't even like it when my kid talks to me.
You try to arrange around sports because you and her mom have quite a flexible schedule. It's not like a 7-day on, 7-day off. It's like, all right, what do you have going on this weekend? It's actually great because both of you can still do all the things that you'd want to do.
Yeah, and when I say I have plans on Saturday...
It's a lie. It's just football.
She never asks what they are, but the plans are just sitting. I was taught something back in the day in broadcasting school. Try to limit talking about stories about somebody else that did something weird somewhere else. And I was like, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you could pretty easily build an entire show just around idiots.
A friend of mine.
Yeah, or this guy in Florida, blankety blank blank. But every once in a while, one surfaces and like, we need to talk about this. So they're calling these two criminals Mr. Clean and Miss Dookie.
Oh, gosh. What happened?
A pair of thieves executed a bizarre heist. One of them stole cleaning products, $500 worth of Gain, Tide, Clorox products, while the other one distracted the employees of the store by taking a dump on the middle of the floor.
No.
Yeah, so she dropped a dookie and he got the cleaning products, which would have been really frustrating for the staff.
They're like, we needed that.
Yeah.
For this clean
up on aisle 5. And then they go to get the cleaning products.
They're like, how convenient. Aisle 5 is the cleaning aisle. They get there. There's nothing left on the shelves.
What do you need? Maybe she was dookying at home too, and that's why the guy needed to steal so much cleaning products. But quite the heist. And it worked. They run away.
Being a thief, but you're a duo and you're sitting down brainstorming, how are we going to steal? Mm-hmm. All right, one of us has to do this.
Or imagine trying to come up with the timing.
Well, exactly. Well, maybe they based it around her schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would get stage fright.
For sure.
I would be the worst accomplice. I'd be like, I can't do it. I'm nervy.
40% of Gen Zers are saying popcorn ceilings are out.
No.
And you said...
They're back in. They're literally back in again.
But the title of this article is Some Housing Trends Are Not Coming Back. So I don't know if they are back in. The truth is, the reason popcorn ceiling is so popular is because it is good for capturing sound. Like, if you shave a popcorn ceiling, you'll notice your house gets a lot more echoey.
Okay.
So there was good reason for it.
I don't think it's ugly or jarring at all.
It does look way better if it's not there, though. So that's one of the trends they say is never coming back, is popcorn ceilings. Another one is carpeting the entire home. Remember that phase? I remember pulling carpet out of an old house, and it was like some of the nicest hardwood I'd ever seen underneath that they had damaged.
The issue that I have with articles like this is nobody should feel bad with what they enjoy. Like, I saw something similar. I don't know if it's the same article, but it said that like window sills or window frames that are painted black are out. I'm like, a lot of people just did that to their house in the past few years, and they love it. So to each their own.
Yeah, I agree that sometimes those articles can be pretty opinionated.
Totally.
You take it with a grain of salt, but carpeting the whole house, likely never coming back. Like, they used to do walls in carpet, especially in basements, the carpet walls, and popcorn ceilings, apparently, never coming back.
70s style is coming back, not only in homes, but weddings. Like, people are theming their weddings with a disco ball and having more like 70 themed colors
and body hair. What is a job that was way bigger than you estimated? You bit off way more than you could chew with a job. For example, if you're like, yeah, I'll help you move to a guy on your hockey team, and then you go and you don't realize he has a mansion. And it's everything that needs to be moved, like the pool table.
I remember helping friends move, and everything they owned was vintage, which I loved. But you have to remember, a lot of vintage furniture is 1,000 pounds. And I looked cute when I arrived. When we were done, I had like one of those messy ponytails, drenched in sweat, that line of sweat between your butt cheeks.
Thanks for the visual.
No problem.
A job that was way bigger than you originally estimated it to be.
And this could be a job that you get employed at, a job where you helped someone out, and you're like, nope, this is not for me. Too much work.
Because Lisa got me to do a little something yesterday.
I didn't even think about that. It took 6 hours.
6 hours later, I wasn't finished yet. We'll get into that next. Asking you for a time, you signed up for something, not realizing how much work it was going to be. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness.
Catherine just wrote in saying parenting. Straight to the point.
Great answer. Last night, I get home after quite a long day. And you're like, hey, the new TV stand arrived.
I ordered one online and I'm like, I have a migraine. Can you put it together? I did not realize that this TV stand was so many pieces.
I started taking out pieces and I was tired by the time I had unloaded the box.
Nuts and bolts and stuff.
Check it out. I literally have a blister from using the screwdriver as much as I did yesterday. Dripping sweat at 10:30 last night.
I was on the couch with an ice pack on my head and I just downed a full bag of crispy minis. And I was like, you're doing amazing.
Anyway,
keep up the great work.
Just so you know, if you ever ask me to do something, I don't care if you have a migraine anymore. The answer's no. You used your one free pass. And the table's not even done yet. Had a listener hit us up a little bit earlier this morning giving us details on a story that she brought to our attention late last week, if I'm not mistaken, where she thought that her boyfriend might be cheating because she noticed that his apartment was like really clean, and normally he's a pretty messy dude. And it was like dusted and shower had been cleaned. And she's like, what's this about?
This is strange. It's when they clean behind the toilet.
Okay.
That you're like, something's up. Like those little pieces on the porcelain that collect dust on each side. I mean, the newer toilets don't have that, but you know what I mean.
She ended up busting him. So that was the case. She was on to it last week when she checked in that he might be up to no good.
Yeah, you can see there's little changes, right?
So I feel like a lot of women have like a sixth sense when it comes to this.
Yeah, another thing, I remember reading this online, that if they start to have an interest in something that they never cared about before, like a show, an artist, like, who taught you that? Who's getting you into that? It's weird. So keep that on your radar. Some innocent person listening right now is like, but I just really started getting into Jelly Roll on my own. Don't start a fight with me and my partner.
Right.
So take it with a grain of salt, of
But
course.
there is something there. I remember, this is a long time ago, like 20-some years ago. I was dating a girl, and she didn't like this other mutual friend that we had because she's like, is something happening between you two?
Okay.
And then I was completely clueless to it because nothing was happening. But then later I found out that this girl had a really big crush on me, and I was clueless to that. But the girl I was seeing at the time was like, there's something here that I don't like red flagged it, which I found really interesting because how could I be that clueless? I was involved, but I was.
Well, this was a dream. So that's probably why.
That was a true story I just told you. Thank you very much. Please don't downplay my truth. 780-784-7107. I thought I'd open this to, I think this one's specifically for the ladies, but if you got a great story as a dude for having a sixth sense too, feel free to get at us.
Yeah, your intuition was flaring up.
Yeah, what is something odd that you noticed that you put together that ended up being legit?
Sometimes you're wrong, though. I remember I was talking with a girlfriend, and her and her boyfriend were fighting. And she's like, let's see where he is. And we checked his location, and he was at a hotel. And I was like, I'm going. I got you, girl. I arrived. He's just playing pool with one of his buddies at the bar attached to it. I was like, this is underwhelming. I was so embarrassed. He's like, what are you doing here? I was like, I really like the matzo sticks.
What did you notice?
Yeah, how'd you figure it out?
Did it come to fruition? We got Reese on the phone. What's going on?
Yeah, what happened, Reese?
Okay, so like a few years ago, I guess, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, down the road, I was dating someone that I had gone to high school with. And I always kind of knew maybe they were like a, ladies type of man, like always kind of flirty and whatever. Anyway, so they were going to go on a trip to Montreal, and I was like, okay, that's random, and you're not bringing me. Okay. Anyway, I felt like something was off, and then so it was back when Instagram had that For You page, and his ex-girlfriend was there, like right on my feed, and it was like a sign, and I was like, okay, I'm going to click it because I know it could be something. And she was also in Montreal.
Oh.
And I just immediately knew, like when you know, you know. And then I had texted him, called him. He's like, nothing's going on. What are you talking about? And then I was like, okay, if you can't call me in 5 minutes, I know. And he couldn't. And then he eventually called me back and was like, yeah, I was just giving her a ride and nothing's happening. And meanwhile, my friends from back home were sending me Snapchat, or telling me that he was on Snapchat posting with her. And
he was posting with her?
Yeah. And
no.
Yeah, it didn't, nothing was going on in the post, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and I'd found out after that she'd even asked if I was okay with her going on the trip and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, obviously not. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you to the For You page for stepping up and informing you.
Yeah, no, it was good. Sometimes you just know these things and you get a spidey sense.
You got that right. Thank you for the call, Reese. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Okay, so Crystal's text here said, I had a friend whose husband had this key fall out of his jacket. And he quickly went, I meant to put that in the lost and found at work. A few days later, she had this weird feeling about that key. It was still on her mind. She goes to his truck, checks under his driver's side floor mat, and the key was there. It was the key to another woman's apartment. What? That is iconic detective work. The feeling to check underneath a car mat. How do you know? How do you know where to look?
Yeah, that's a super specific spot. But I bet for hiding a key, that kind of makes sense.
She just knew where to go. She knew where to go.
780-784-7107. I really like this one from Nova that said when they start shopping for clothing labels that they can't spell or pronounce. You might want to look into that.
It's so true.
I got a new hat on, and I just asked you for your thoughts on it, which was a mistake. I should never ask you for your opinion unless I want it. I thought you'd just be nice. You said...
I said I like it backwards, and you're like, it's plain backwards. I was like, okay.
And then you said, you look like a loser. It doesn't go with that shirt. And you look like the kind of guy that...
Like an annoying podcaster that squirms in his seat. That's what I said. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's...
Well, it wasn't supposed to go on air. This is just like a private conversation.
No, I know, but why couldn't you just say, yeah, it looks good?
Lesson learned.
Thank you. May I?
Say what? You don't like my Old Navy sweater from 6 years ago?
6. Tack a teen onto the end of that.
$1,000. It's Ryder and Lisa's 1K wordplay. Brought to you by Out of Bounds Restaurant.
We are joined by Texter 107. Colin, I sense an accent. I'm thinking Scottish. Is that right?
Yep. That's it.
Love it.
Tell me, is haggis good? I've always wanted to try haggis.
Yeah, it's good. Bit of bar, deep fried.
It's good at a bar deep fried. Everything's good at a bar deep fried, so I'm in.
I'd eat a deep fried shoe from a bar. Good to know. Good to know. All right, Colin, best of luck with Ryder and Lisa's 1K wordplay. You're going to choose a teammate. They'll leave the studio. The other host will give you 5 words. You have 25 seconds to tell them the first word that comes to mind. For every word that matches with your teammate, it's $25 in your pocket. If all 5 match, it's $1,000. So, Colin, who are you rolling with today?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ryder.
All right. Goodbye, Ryder.
Goodbye and good luck. That's what I say every time now. It's my new thing.
Nice. All right, Colin, I'll start that 25-second timer after I say the first word. Best of luck. Okay. What comes to mind when I say marshmallow?
S'mores.
Island.
Palm trees.
Spaghetti.
Pasta.
Smile.
Mouth.
Diamond.
Ring.
Good answers, Colin, and you still had 4 seconds left on the clock. Let's get Ryder back in here. Oh, Ryder flipped his hat around, which means he's in the zone. The backwards hat means business. Let's go.
It's been backwards all morning. You just don't pay attention.
Sorry. All right. Let's do this. What comes to mind when I say diamond?
Ring?
$25, Colin. Nice work.
Ooh, let's go.
Spaghetti.
I'm going to say pasta.
$50, Colin.
Right on.
Smile.
Happy?
Mouth. That was tough. I was thinking teeth when I wrote it. I'm wondering what everyone playing along wrote down.
First thing that came to mind was cookie.
Ooh.
Because they make me smile
do,
and the smile cookie. Yeah.
For good cause. They taste delicious. Okay, we got $50. Let's keep it going. What comes to mind when I say marshmallow?
Marshmallow. I'm going to say...
You're trying so hard to get to $75.
Oh, this is a tough one.
I know.
Marshmallow.
You got this. Marshmallow.
S'more?
That's correct.
Yeah.
$75. For $100. Island.
Island. I'm going to say beach.
Palm tree. Which is 2 words, too. You know what, though? How much did he win?
$75.
$75 is $75. Thanks for playing, Colin.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Have a great day.
You too.
I just stopped thinking mid-sentence
Yeah,
there.
I was like, did you just fall asleep for a second there?
Next chance to play tomorrow morning at 7:50.
A guy is shooting his shot with you on the text line this morning, Lise.
What's it say?
From Jordan. It says, Lisa, you seem like a giant red flag.
Wait, what?
You seeing anyone? I love capture the flag.
That's
what
good.
He said.
That's good.
The Ryder and Lisa Podcast. Play 107.